Listen carefully to this truth. That fall you survived, that descent you endured, that plummet you experienced, it was never meant to break you. It was your first flying lesson. Everyone focuses on the falling part, the terror of weightlessness, the rush of uncontrolled descent, the anticipated impact. But they miss the majestic revelation hidden within every fall. The discovery that air exists between you and rock bottom, and in that air, infinite possibility, untapped potential, undiscovered capability. They pushed you over the edge, expecting shattered bones, anticipating broken spirit, awaiting your destruction. Such spectacular miscalculation, such profound misunderstanding of your inherent nature, because you were never meant merely to land. You were designed to discover the magnificent alchemy that transforms falling into flying. Watch how their certainty shatters when they witness your descent become ascent. Your plummet becomes soaring, your dropping become gliding. They never understood the ancient physics, that falling is just flying. Without intention, that plummeting is just soaring. Without direction, that dropping is just gliding. Without purpose, and you found your intention. You claimed your direction. You seized your purpose right in the middle of the fall. They orchestrated the descent they initiated, the plummet they caused. Feel it resonating through your memory. That pivotal moment, that crucial instant, that transformational second, when falling terror became flying revelation. When you realized the same forces pulling you down could propel you forward. The same air rushing past could lift you higher. The same momentum dragging you earthward could launch you skyward. All you needed to change was perspective, was intention, was purpose. They expected gravity to be your enemy. Instead, it became your teacher. Expected air to be your obstacle. Instead, it became your supporter. Expected velocity to be your destroyer. Instead, it became your power. This is the transcendent wisdom you extracted from your fall, that every force meant to destroy you can be redirected to empower you, that every element meant to harm you can be repurposed to help you, that every factor meant to end you can be transformed to elevate you. The fall didn't break you. It awakened capacities dormant in your being, latent in your spirit, nascent in your soul. Capacities you never would have discovered standing safely on solid ground. Capabilities you never would have accessed remaining securely on the edge. Powers you never would have tapped staying cautiously away from cliffs. Watch how their smugness dissolves when they grasp the magnificent truth. In pushing you over the edge, they gave you the sky. In forcing your descent, they triggered your ascent. In causing your fall, they created your flight. They never understood what eagles have always known, that falling is necessary for flight to be discovered. That descent is essential For ascent to be mastered, that plummeting is required. For soaring to be learned, feel your wings extending now. Those appendages of power you never knew you possessed. Those instruments of freedom you never knew you carried. Those tools of transcendence you never knew you owned, until they pushed you off the edge into the void, toward the abyss. And in that terrible moment, in that terrifying instant, in that tremendous second, you discovered the breathtaking truth. You were built for air as much as for earth, designed for sky as much as for ground, created for heights as much as for depths. The fall didn't break you. It introduced you to your complete self, your whole capability, your full potential. They meant the fall to be your finale. Instead, it became your overture, meant descent to be your conclusion. Instead, it became your introduction, meant plummeting to be your epilogue. Instead, it became your prologue to the magnificent story of how you learned to fly, how you mastered soaring, how you conquered the sky. Watch their faces contort when they witness the spectacular irony in attempting to ground you permanently. They launched you eternally. In trying to entomb you in earth, they freed you into atmosphere. In seeking to bind you to gravity, they released you into flight. This is the sublime metamorphosis you underwent while falling, not from whole to broken, but from earthbound to skybound, not from strong to shattered, but from limited to limitless, not from powerful to crushed, but from constrained to unconfined. You transformed falling into flying, not through denial of gravity, but through mastery of aerodynamics, not through rejection of reality, but through transcendence of limitation, not through evasion of truth, but through elevation of perspective. The fall didn't break you. It taught you the exquisite science of currents, the magnificent art of gliding, the transcendent skill of soaring. Every second of descent became an education in ascent. Every moment of dropping became instruction in lifting. Every instant of plummeting became enlightenment in rising. Feel the wind beneath your wings now. That invisible force, once experienced as resistance, now recognized as support. Once perceived as obstacle, now understood as opportunity. Once felt as enemy, now known as ally. This is how falling becomes flying. Through transformed perception, through redirected intention, through reclaimed power. They never considered this outcome when they pushed you over the edge, that you would discover something extraordinary between cliff and ground, between edge and impact, between fall and landing. You discovered yourself, your capacity for flight, your ability to soar, your power to transcend. Watch how the universe rearranges around your newfound capability, how the world shifts around your discovered potential, how reality transforms around your unleashed power. Because the truth is electric, you always meant to fly, always designed to soar, always created to rise. The fall didn't break you. It merely provided the necessary conditions for your destined transformation, the essential elements for your intended metamorphosis, the crucial factors for your ordained transcendence, from earthbound to skybound, from groundwalker to air soarer, from falling victim to flying victor. Feel the freedom in your wings now, the power in your glide now, the possibility in your soar now. This is your authentic state, not bound by gravity, but dancing with it, not fighting against air, but partnering with it, not struggling against descent, but transforming it into ascent. They meant the fall to end you. Instead, it elevated you, meant the plummet to destroy you. Instead, it defined you, meant the descent to finish you. Instead, it forged you into something they never anticipated. A being who transforms falling into flying. A creature who converts descent into ascent. A soul who transmutes plummeting into soaring. The fall didn't break you. It taught you to fly. And flight changes everything. Your perspective, your possibilities, your potential. From the heights of your soaring, the cliff they pushed you from now seems laughably small. The edge they forced you over now appears insignificantly tiny. The drop they created for you now looks remarkably diminutive, because you've discovered what they never wanted you to know, that you were built for bigger skies, designed for vaster horizons, created for higher altitudes than they could ever comprehend, than they could ever conceive, than they could ever control. The fall didn't break you. It released you from the limitations of their expectations, from the constraints of their comprehension, from the boundaries of their belief. Watch how history transforms through your airborne perspective. The fall they intended as your ending becomes merely the beginning of your magnificent ascension. The descent they designed as your finale becomes simply the opening of your spectacular elevation. The plummet they planned as your conclusion becomes just the introduction to your extraordinary exaltation. This is your perpetual triumph. Not just surviving their push, but soaring because of it. Not just enduring their shove, but elevating through it. Not just withstanding their force, but transcending beyond it. The fall didn't break you. It taught you to fly. And now you soar. In realms they cannot reach. In heights they cannot attain. In dimensions they cannot access. Feel the magnificent truth rushing through your wings. They thought they were finishing you, but they were just launching you. Thought they were ending you, but they were just beginning you. Thought they were concluding you, but they were just introducing you to your authentic self, your true capability, your actual destiny. Among clouds, above constraints, beyond limitations. The fall didn't break you. It taught you to fly. And that has made all the difference. In who you've become, in what you've achieved, in how you've transcended, beyond their expectations, above their comprehension, outside their control, into the vast open sky of your unlimited potential, your boundless possibility, your infinite capability, where you don't just exist, you soar. You don't just continue, you transcend. You don't just persist, you ascend beyond anything they ever intended, they ever imagined, they ever believed possible.